Well, they finally did it. They talked about matchmaking. I thought it wasn't going to happen because they said in the coming weeks after Season 1 launches, we'll talk about it. Well, weeks came and went, and now we're 2 months after the fact. They should have given us a time frame of 8 weeks, and we'll talk about it. But everything about this whole entire franchise is vague, it's mysterious, it's hidden, the communication is lacking. So I'm honestly shocked we got this. I thought even the people that were going to talk about it got laid off, but I digress. I may not even post gameplay in this particular video. It may all be just Twitter snippets and whatnot. I'm not going to cover the entire blog post about the matter. I'm just going to cover the highlights, but I'll leave links to everything that I'm going to cover in the pinned comment in the video description, what have you. Let me just immediately get on into it because right from the get-go, bullshit is afoot. And I'm not the one saying it. Now, I did call this out first and foremost, but this is an ex-dev you're seeing replying to this Modern Warzone tweet here. Let me just go over this. Modern Warzone says today Activision confirmed that skill-based matchmaking has been in Call of Duty since COD 4 Modern Warfare 1, I guess you want to call it, from 2007. This is 100% bullshit. This is gaslighting is what this is. Brian Bright is a former Call of Duty dev, and he responds with the same thought process I have. I've played more Call of Duty 4 than most of the current Call of Duty devs have even played Call of Duty as a whole. I mean, that game, I played it for probably 3 years and then played it on and off after that on PC and whatnot. I even went back to it several times on Xbox 360. I have so much COD 4 playtime. I'm going to tell you right now, this is simply not true. Call of Duty 4 had zero skill-based matchmaking. There was lobby balancing, which may be what they're referring to, but being this vague about it is simply just, it's in bad faith is what it is. It's not how you should be wording things. COD 4, I mean, once you got into the match, and it was, again, just connection-based only, you would have lobby balancing. So it would just take your stats, your overall stats, and kind of like put you with the worst players. They try to balance it out to give you an even match in that regard, but that was it. Outside of that, no matchmaking whatsoever. Just ping-based, that's all. So right away, we're off to a bad start because they're saying something that's not true, and I have a big fucking issue with that. I'm always after the truth. You need to admit when you're wrong if you do get things wrong, and then correct it in the future. That's what I've always tried to do, and I think it's served me pretty well. But let's get into something else here. So Pro Reborn says this. We'll also add, I've spoken to another developer, not Brian Bright, and the response from them was, this is not what I've heard internally. And this is in response to the whole skill-based matchmaking being in the game as far back as 2007. It's just, right away, I'm like, wow, this is stupid. But it gets worse. Look at this. Connection. Connection is supposed to be the king, says the Call of Duty team, in regards to how Call of Duty matchmaking works. They say, as the community will attest, okay, ping is king. No, it's not. Connection is the most critical and heavily weighted factor in the matchmaking process. If that were true, Drifter would have not posted this entire video claiming that the better you are at the game, the worse your ping is going to be. Back in the day, ping is king meant that connection would never be compromised for the sake of anything else. So right away, again, that is a misrepresentation of what's actually going on here. Time to match is apparently the second most weighted factor. This factor is the second most critical to the matchmaking process. We all want to spend time playing the game rather than waiting for matches to start. Nero posted a video of him searching for matches in old Call of Duties, and I think he got up to Black Ops 2 or Ghosts or something like that, all the way from COD 4 to Ghosts. He matched quicker than he got a match in Modern Warfare Roman numeral 2. So right away, again, these first two metrics just seem like, it just not seem true. And I'm not just saying they're lying because it's Activision and Call of Duty, and it took them 5 years to even talk about this. I'm saying that what they're saying and the actual data simply does not match. This does not match. Let's continue on here, though. Playlist diversity and then recent maps and modes is number 3. And then we also have skill and performance, which is way down below everything else, which just, again, it does not feel like that's the case. And from testing, it does not seem like this is the case. Input device, platform, and voice chat are also factors. I'm not sure what platform or voice chat really has to do with anything, but whatever. This is what they say. This is what we got. It gets worse, though. We're going to keep going here, okay? Activision has officially confirmed that content creators and streamers do not get any special treatment in matchmaking in Call of Duty. I reply to this with whitelists have been confirmed by an ex-COD dev, though, and I will link the video and the timestamp where this takes place in the video description or the pinned comment, maybe both. It remains to be seen when I post this, but just look below the video. I will link a video where I covered a dev literally saying like, oh, I'm whitelisted though, or oh, this person's whitelisted. They're fine. This is completely false. It's not true. Either that or the dev was lying. I mean, either way, we have unreliable narrators all around here, okay? This just doesn't make any sense. This is a complete contradiction. Look at this, okay? Charlie Intel says, Activision has also confirmed that players in multiplayer who keep backing out of lobbies because they do not like the map selection just ends up hurting matchmaking, leaving less games available to play while the empty lobbies are trying to fill. And they explain how that works there in the blog post if you want to read all that mumbo jumbo. But I have to ask this, why the fuck did they remove map voting for years then, if that's the case? Why did they take away map voting for years? If people join a lobby of Piccadilly and they don't want to play on Modern Warfare 2019 because it sucks, but you don't give them the option to vote for another map, this directly goes against this philosophy. Am I wrong? It's madness. Why is the entire matchmaking a complete contradiction up to this point from what they're telling us? There's more, though. There's more. SBMM isn't going anywhere. Modern Warzone says, our data shows that when lower skill players are consistently on the losing end, they are likely to quit matches in progress or stop playing altogether. This has an effect on the player pool. Yet, whenever I reverse boost and I dump on kids, and you can see this in my previous videos, it's rare if anyone ever leaves the lobby. But in Sweatlord lobbies, players drop like flies, mostly on my team. I also don't buy this. And this is a small sample size, yes, but again, you have to take into account, I have played more Call of Duty than these devs combined, I'd be willing to bet. That might be a stretch because there's like 1,000, 2,000 of them still, but I've played so much Call of Duty. So yes, while I am one guy and my sample size is small in comparison to just Modern Warfare 3, I've played so much Call of Duty. I mean, I do not buy this. I do not buy this. If the game is fun, if people are having fun, whether they're winning or losing, they'll stay in the lobby. That's just how it works. You can have fun losing, you can have fun winning, you can have fun having a competitive match, you can have fun shooting down streaks because there's challenges related to it or whatever if you're getting stomped. This makes no sense. And again, I just don't buy this. This does not make any sense. They actually addressed bots and like skill-based hit registration and stuff. They denied skill-based hit registration and all that, and truthfully, I've never really bought into that. They also denied the AI bot rumor, 2 months after the fact. And I have to say here, like, why did it take them this long? That's a 10-second response rumor killer they could make on Twitter. Like 2 months ago, when I'm just trying to get to the bottom of all these rumors and all these bots I'm seeing in the multiplayer, which happen to be Cronus scripts for the most part, which I didn't know existed. A simple Google search would have told you that these are Cronus scripts. I don't know what these virgins are doing on any given day to cheat the system. I don't. If you held a gun to my head and said, hey, BT, are there virgin reverse boost Cronus script camo lobbies with bots that people kill to boost their camos in Call of Duty, and people pay hundreds of dollars for this service, my brains would be on my wall next to my mic here, because that just, it blows my mind that's even a thing. How do I Google search something that I don't know exists? You have to be such a turbo nerd loser to even know this stuff is a thing. Truthfully, I've been playing COD for so long, I've never heard of that. Seriously, maybe I just play with the most upstanding people ever, and I've just been protected from this harsh truth. But that is the truth. There's no way to know this stuff. The fact that it took them 2 months just to nip this rumor in the bud is pathetic. It takes 10 seconds to say, no, there's not bots on their Twitter. You know, it's just insane to me. So thank you for clearing it up now. That's all it took, you know? That's all it took. You could have saved me a lot of time, though. Thank you. And then there's this. Charlie Intel, I don't know what this guy, I think he really wants to get invited out to stuff again because he was critical of Call of Duty last year and they just stopped inviting him to stuff. So I think he wants to get in their good graces again, and I'm not even saying that to be mean. This is what it seems like. But he says, the reaction to the matchmaking blog is exactly how I thought it would go. People claiming it's not being honest. It's factually not. We have data to prove it's not. The devs, ex-devs are saying it's not. Too many people think too deeply about this when it's just the fact that there's so many casual players that they need to retain them. And I post this screenshot from Steam charts, which we verified the PC player base is a large chunk, actually the largest chunk of players overall. Not on Steam specifically, it's divided between Steam and Battle.net, but I digress. I posted this showing that no, if this system is there to retain players, it is a colossal failure. You don't lose 60, 70, 80% of your player base from the peak if the system is working. I say it's doing such a great job retaining those players. Wow! The company that had devs sign NDAs to not talk about SBMM for 5 years. The one that shit can you from coming to events because you were too critical of them on Twitter shouldn't be fact checked. All right, makes sense. And look, that NDA thing, you might be saying, well, that's a rumor. That's not true. Okay, look at this. No, it's verified. Darcy Sandal was a dev that unfortunately got let go recently. This person says, since you were fired, can you finally reveal this secret about SBMM? Why, despite the feedback from MW 2019, is there no response or discussion on this topic? I'm sorry about the loss of your job, but we remember that about 3,000 devs created MW2, the most in the history of gaming. Darcy says non-disclosure agreements don't work like that. Regardless of my employment status, I'm not going to violate my NDAs. I've covered it before, and it's in their patents, and you could say, well, they're not using these. Okay, fine. They have the patent, though, and it all checks out. It's engagement optimized matchmaking. It's not there to retain players. They can't retain players anymore through the sheer quality of the game. They simply cannot do that. They noticed that after Black Ops 2, player retention and even sales took a dip. What they are doing now is manipulation. The same thing they did with loot boxes are what they're doing with the matchmaking now. It's the same thing. You're rolling the dice. You're pulling the lever on the slot machine. EOMM aims to get players addicted with the matchmaking. That's why it's so secretive. That's why this whole matchmaking discussion they gave us is still a lie. They cannot reveal that, but it is true. I would guarantee it. And you can watch my videos on the matter if you'd like. I cover it in great detail. I'll leave links to that as well in the pinned comment, video description, what have you. Now, let me ask you this. If skill-based matchmaking, engagement-optimized matchmaking, whatever, was actually there to retain players like they claim it is, why doesn't COD Mobile have it? Yet COD Mobile is the most played Call of Duty game easily. The amount of mobile players eclipses even Warzone in its peak. And yet, people are saying that when they search for matches in that, like there's no SBMM, but there's a lot of AI in the matches, which also doesn't make sense if it's filled to the brink with like tons of players. I don't know what to believe other than I'm just calling bullshit on it all at this stage. I'm out of time. I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, they told us either what we already knew or they gave us false information and lied to us. So, hooray. I'm out. I'm just done. I am finito.
Do some parting advice?